Hey everyone, it is Troy Roadside RC. Welcome. Today we are doing something very special with our TRX4 Sport. We are going from our tried and trusty Hobbywing 1080 ESC with the 21 turn 550 can Holmes Hobby motor that we just love. I just love it. I just put it in everything. It's just a great combo. We're going brushless. So it is time. Here we are, Hobbywing Quick Run. It's the Fusion. It is the 2-in-1 ESC and motor in one setup. This is going to be interesting. So if you're new, welcome to the channel. This is Roadside RC and my name is Troy. What you'll see on the channel is a whole bunch of crawling and drifting and racing and bashing, all that kind of stuff. We're even doing some FPV drone stuff now, getting into that. And a whole bunch of product videos and how-tos and demonstrations. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna drive the truck as it sits right now, install this Fusion system, drive it again, and show you back to back the differences in how the truck drives. And then we're gonna come back here at the end and I'm gonna tell you my thoughts and feelings. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? I mean, the Hobbywing setup with the 1080 ESC that I have in there now, it's great. That setup, $40 for an ESC, $20 for a motor. It lasts a good long while, especially those motors from Holmes Hobbies. So, you know, 60 bucks all in and a great setup that handles 3S. Is it worth it to go to $150 for the brushless setup? Let's see if we can find out. Now that this is installed, I want to show you something that I would probably do differently. I'd recommend you do differently. So I was purposely clocking the output wires over to this side because I thought with the power switch and everything that it was smarter for me to have them over here. But really, when you look at it, because of how the motor is offset in the chassis, you know, the signal wire needs to come over here to the receiver. It has plenty of length. But, you know, I wanted to cock my, now you can have yours like straight up and down, but I have that battery tray that goes there. And so I didn't want it to interfere with that. Looking at it now, based on the length of the battery wires and the programming and the on-off button, it would be very easy for me to actually have the wires come out on this side of the motor. And it has plenty of clearance here. I'm actually just barely touching. It looks like everything in here is going to tuck. I mean, it'll tuck nicely. It'll be fine, but it would probably be a little bit smoother. I'd have plenty of room for both of these wires to go around underneath my battery tray and still have plenty of length. So if I had to do it over again, I would clock it over on that side. I'm not going to take it out today because it's not that big a deal, but for you, I'd recommend it being over there. The throttle calibration, right? Hold the button until it beeps. Just like every other Hobbywing, hit it once for neutral, hold full throttle, hit it again, it beeps twice, hit it in reverse, hit it again, it beeps 3 times. And then at that point, you're calibrated. But you'll notice that it actually, it's not on right now, but you'll have noticed that actually when I pulled the accelerator, when I pulled forward, it actually spun backwards. So one of the things that we're gonna have to do is get the program card out, plug it in, and actually program the orientation of the motor. Now, fortunately, it has a little plug right here, little weatherproof plug that comes out, and it tells you both here and here, the orientation of the plug as it goes in. And we should be able to program the items via the program card that was included. The only thing I did change at this point is going from counterclockwise to clockwise on the motor rotation. Everything else is, I'm leaving it exactly as it comes. After I drive it some, I may change number 7 and 8 here. This is the drag brake force and the drag brake rate. I may change those from the default levels, but I haven't tried this system yet. So I'm gonna completely just leave it alone until I drive it. Okay, so final thoughts as I drove that for the first time. I think it was really interesting. I don't feel like I gained any speed, total wheel speed. It actually kind of makes me wish I'd put the GPS on them before and after, because I feel like the old setup had maybe a mile an hour or two on this one when it comes to full wheel speed, which is really good for when you're wanting to hop up something. Now, obviously, a pinion change changes that all around, right? So a simple pinion change and I'll have my speed back, so that's not a problem. Total, if I was going to do any difference in the settings, I would say I'm going to probably reduce the drag brake rate, because it feels like it comes on a little bit too fast for what I like. The other thing is the whole rev matching, constant speed thing, right? So as long as I'm holding the throttle in the same position, it's going to keep those wheels turning at the same position. Obviously, that's not something I'm used to because that was never a choice with the brushed motors. And so it feels odd. It feels odd as I come up against a rock or something, like naturally. A vehicle you drive one scale or anything else, as you come up against a rock, it's going to naturally slow down, right? It's going to naturally bog a little bit. You're going to have to recognize that's happening, give it a little throttle, get up over it. You're driving the vehicle, right? This whole rev matching thing, like, I went through my whole rock section plus my whole, flex area, just held the throttle and it just went through it. Good, bad, I don't know. I mean, it's probably really good for videos, honestly. It's probably really good for YouTube and for videos because the truck will keep a nice steady pace. It'll look great. But from a driving feel standpoint, I don't know if I'm super into that. No, fortunately, we just turn it off. So that's fine. We just turn it off and it's not a big deal. But overall, really at the end of the day, is this worth more than double what the brushed setup is worth? So far, I can't say it is. So far, I cannot say that going with the brushless setup is worth the money compared to the tried and true and trusty Hobbywing 1080 ESC that's, depending on the day, somewhere between $40 and $50. And I run these Holmes Hobbies Trailmaster Sport, the 550s. Between that combo, it just does so good. And it's half the price. And, the truth is, yes, you will burn through brushed motors. Brushed motors do not last a long time. But fortunately, these motors from Holmes Hobbies and, their ability just in a crawler, even getting wet and everything else, it's actually lasted me longer than I ever expected it would. And if it dies, it's $20. This brushless setup dies in here, it's the whole thing. It's the whole $150 is trash, and I gotta buy a whole new $150. So is it cool? Yes. Is it really better than this? I really don't think it is. It's not worth double. It's very equal. I don't really think it's worth double. Now, I'm not going to take it out. Now that I have it, I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to test it more, and I'm going to try it more and more. But, so maybe my opinion will change over time. You can comment down below. You can ask me with this video 6 months old or a year old what I think. But I'm almost curious with the size of the can and the power that it has, potential for some different gearing options. Like, it might actually be really good in like a drift build. It might actually be really good in like a rear-wheel drive RC drift build or something like that. You get rid of the ESC, you have some other things. Now, obviously it doesn't have turbo or boost or anything like that in it, but for a basic drift build, it might work. So, something different. But anyway, that's where we sit. That's what it is. That's my opinion. Am I immediately going to get a bunch of hate from you guys, like telling me how I'm wrong? Bring it on. If I'm wrong, I'll own it. And so, let me know, if you've driven both of these back to back, what do you feel? Is there a huge difference? Is there something that I'm missing immediately? Let me know. But also, in the meantime, I really do appreciate all the support you guys give us. Over here, some other videos that we have going on. I would really appreciate if you go over, check some more of them out. The support you give the channel helps us support you back with giveaways and other stuff that we do. So, hey, let me know down below. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I completely off base?
let me know, and we will talk to you next time. Goodbye.